All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Touching You Talk Show podcast for a very special edition. This is our second annual Diggs family, um, we'll call it chat. We're not doing nothing too crazy. This is three generations of Diggs men. You got old man down there, Pastor Patrick Diggs. He is the senior pastor of the New Fellowship Church of Fort Worth. Go ahead and say hi as he
Hello,
flexes on everybody.
flexing, letting everybody know I'm the in shape pastor. Glad to be here today with my sons and grandson.
Perfect. And then we also have we'll go in order of age. So for those of you watching, you've met me. So I'm Jordan Diggs, the original Jordan Diggs, because we got another one over here. But yeah, I'm Jordan Diggs, also known as J Diggs the Prodigy, for those who love good music. And not a lot to say about myself because I've been on here multiple times. But then we're gonna hand it over to.
I'm James Diggs. I'm Patrick's son. I'm 16 years old. The junior in high school this year. Yeah.
All right, and last but not least,
Hey,
right here.
you need some more?
I mean, it's
Um,
it's up to you if that's all you wanted to introduce yourself with.
No, that's all right.
nah,
All right.
I'm the real Jordan Diggs, because my first name is actually Jordan. Um, About to be a freshman in high school. Um, the other Jordan Diggs' son, I guess, and then
Wow.
Patrick's grandson and James' nephew, but we call ourselves cousins, so
Cousins.
It's probably easier to explain it that way.
Yeah,
yeah,
everybody
we
get confused
cousins.
about the
Yeah,
uncle
we
piece.
cousins.
What's
We
up, Unc?
cousins.
Hey, we cousins.
Yeah, we cousins.
Wow. So we gonna get this thing started. We're gonna kick this thing off right. I got enough topics to go for a long time, but because we were late because of some technical difficulties, I'm not gonna force everybody to sit through all of that because of our tardiness. But I do want to start with some icebreakers. So we're gonna get the icebreakers going. So I'm gonna start with Jr. What is one word that describes the Diggs family?
Um, I will say determined.
Okay,
That is the
okay,
word.
That's a good one.
that's a
I
good
like that
one.
one.
Jordan,
Yeah. I'd say talent. I feel like we got a lot of talent in this family.
I could agree with that. I could agree with that. We definitely got a lot of different hats that are worn in this family, not just by the men, but everybody that's in the family. And then pops was one word that you would use to
I
describe
would
the
say
family.
I would say focused. I would say focused and strong willed. I know that's more than one word, but focused. Let me go with strong willed because it's hard to break a man's will when he knows who he is.
All right, we'll put a hyphen in the middle of strong willed and we'll count it as one word.
All right, all right.
And then for me, I would say one word to describe the Diggs family is family.
Yeah.
Because we, no matter what, we got each other's back, we got each other's side, we got each other's front, and at the end of the day, regardless of what's going on, we carry the Diggs family name and the legacy that comes with that with pride, and we do it well on all fronts. Whether it be in ministry, in music, in sports, in traveling the world doing music, it's a lot that goes on in this family, and wherever we go, we make sure that we wear the name Diggs as a badge of honor. And yeah, so one word for us is family.
Yep. Yep. Believe that.
What is something people misunderstand about the Diggs family?
Oh, who's going first?
Hmm.
We'll start
Y'all
with
want me
you,
to go
Jordan.
first? Who's gonna go first?
Me?
We'll go with Jordan first.
Um, it's kind of hard to answer that for me because I feel like all I hear, like most of the stuff I hear, is good about our family. Um, I don't, I don't think that like I hear any bad talk about us. I don't think there's anything to be misunderstood. They know who we are. They know we're a good family, where we come from, what we do, and like I don't know. I don't think there's any misunderstandings that I've had personally. I didn't. I'm sure that's different for y'all. Y'all have been here longer and all of that. But for me, I feel like a lot of people talk good about us.
Okay, Jr.
I think something that could be misunderstood or misinterpreted, our friendliness can be misinterpreted for vulnerability or comfortability.
That's good. That's good.
That's what I
I
Yeah.
can see
think.
that.
Yeah.
Because we're very, no matter how much of us are like introverted, but we are very social at times. But that can often be like misconstrued in different ways, and people might think they're closer to you. Excuse me, than they actually are, just because you're that way with everybody. You're just
Yeah,
friendly.
I agree with that. I've experienced a lot of that in life. Just because I am an introvert, regardless of the fact that I do music and I've worked in sales for forever. Any extroverted characteristics people see in me are by necessity.
Yeah,
Like I don't need to be in people's faces and things like that just for my own self gratification or anything like that. But if I'm promoting music or if I'm working in sales, then yeah, I'm gonna be as extroverted. I'm gonna be the center of attention if I have to be, whatever you need me to be in that case to in order to get the sale closed or get you to appreciate the music and enjoy it. So I definitely agree with that as a common misconception for us as a family. What about you, old man?
One of the things I can say, like grandson said, I've been here the longest, and so he can't really speak to that much because he hasn't been on the platforms and in the places I've been. But people feel like, I think they misunderstand about us is telling the truth does not mean we are your enemy. Telling you the truth does not mean that we don't like you. Telling you the truth means we love you. And for us to be so strong willed and accessible, we need to make sure that we're guarded with the people who are around us. So the people who are around us need to understand very quick, not that we're celebrities or anything, nothing like that, but we're just genuine people. But if you want to be a part of our circle, we need to know who you are. You need to know who we are. That means a lot of times you'll have to be faced with the truth. And sometimes the truth is ugly and people don't really see themselves as others see you. So when one of us tells you the truth, it's not that we're being mean or ugly. It's just that we're trying to tell you the truth about who you are. So somebody who doesn't love you won't lie to you.
that's
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel like just in general, that's a hard thing for people to accept and deal with because people would rather be comforted by a lie than to be slightly inconvenienced or hurt by the truth.
Yes, sir.
Um, but the truth, the truth is something that you got to have if you want to grow. When
Yep.
you go to the gym and you're working out, they say no pain, no gain. And that's I mean that can be applied to everything.
Hmm.
You as a human through life and to get any growth, you got to work out that growth muscle of becoming
Yep.
more mature. So if you can't accept the pain that comes with someone telling you the truth, the Diggs family is not the family for you to want to hang around because
Amen
you're
to
gonna get
that.
the truth, or these
Amen to
two are
that.
gonna clown you. So they be ready. They were ready. He stayed with the Birdman hand rub, ready to get on somebody.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And that doesn't mean we can't receive truth. We can receive it just as well as we can give it.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so this question's for you, pops. Who's the biggest troublemaker growing up, me or Jr.?
Oh, that's a terrible question. That's a terrible question because neither one of y'all were. Y'all have the kind of dad that know I'm real. I give y'all the freedom you need, and I also give you rules. And neither one of you have ever given me any trouble, and I thank God for that. Jordan, you just did one thing when we were younger, and it wasn't even trouble. You just were having fun with your friends, and you forgot to report. I think you remember that you were gone all night, and I didn't know where you were.
Yep.
And I think I almost killed you when I hit you in the chest. I thought I had killed you, not because I was mad at you, but because I didn't know where the hell you were. And I thought somebody had kidnapped you or whatever. But no, y'all haven't given
Mm.
me any trouble, man. I can't say y'all are troublemakers. And so I'm grateful that that has not been my experience with my son. So
so.
I'm
I
blessed to
wonder
have
if
you
that
all.
sounds familiar to my son.
Yeah.
and trying to know where he is, not because I need to keep tabs on you, but I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there. Not
Yeah.
yeah, not along.
Yeah.
It's a
Definitely
learning
been
lesson.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad you learned it.
Free?
He froze. He froze on us. He got scared. All right. Who talks the most?
Out of you and Jr.
Out of all four of us.
Oh, that's a tough one. I would
I
say
think we know.
you now, Jordan, you now because you're older and we have more things in common to talk about. Now Jr. can go too. Jr. can go, but Jr. is not as talkative. He's just not as talkative as you are. But I think you do. You'll be number one. Alex will be number two, and Jr. would be coming up two A or two B. But none of y'all really talk too much. I like the conversation. I'm glad that y'all still like to conversate with me. But no, I
And
wouldn't
where are
say
you? Where are you in all that?
He
where
know
am
he
I?
number one.
I'm number one. I will take that. I will take wear that crown because I'm talking in my sleep at night. So I don't mind that. And I don't. My feelings ain't hurt by you saying that either.
I mean, somebody got to do it. Somebody
Yeah.
got to speak up for us when nobody else will. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, we're gonna move on into segment one. This segment is called "Then versus Now," and so we're gonna talk about growing up. So, we're gonna start with you, pops. What was life like when you were a kid?
No social media. We were forced to be outside more. There were more families with two parents in the house. Morals and standard were paramount. They were more important back then. Character, yes ma'am, no ma'am, manners, stuff like that was more important. It's not absent now, but when you see it in a child, you know that they've been reared the right way. So it was a lot more of trusting in God back then than we do now. That's why I'm glad you have a pastor in your family, so I can kind of keep us grounded and I can put the roots that I was grown learning. I can put them the seeds in y'all so y'all can have deep roots. But it was a lot more social when I was growing up, not with social media, but we were more up and close in people's faces, and I kind of miss that. That's why I enjoy doing this talk show because it gives us an opportunity to conversate and know and learn
Yeah,
more about each other.
I would say for me, one of the differences was, I mean, it was still no social media, but video games were becoming more and more popular.
Yeah.
And I would literally carry my Nintendos down the street to Junior and Josh's house just so we could go play the game together before it was playing online and stuff like that. It was split screen, you yelling at each other for screen watching and seeing where somebody was playing the same game, kind of split in four like this. We used to play tag, water balloon fights with the kids from the street over, stuff like that. And it was safe to do so. Everybody in the neighborhood expected that kids were going to be outside
Yeah.
playing and making noise and stuff like that. Whereas nowadays, I see stories online all the time where Karens are complaining at HOA members that the kids at the swimming pool is too loud or it's too much noise going on. Somebody mowed their lawn too early in the morning, knowing that
Yeah.
the temperature was going to be 100 plus degrees, so they wanted to get the lawn mowed. She's complaining to HOA and stuff like that. So I didn't have to deal with too much of that. But as I got older, especially in high school, when we moved back in the North Crowley area, it was different from when we lived over there on Green Ridge. Like there
Yeah.
was no kids outside. I didn't know nobody in the neighborhood. I didn't go to the school in that area, so I didn't have no friends in that area. So that's kind of what pushed me more to being comfortable with being by myself,
Yeah.
finding ways to entertain myself or find stuff to do by myself. So that was a bit of a difference. I kind of caught a little bit of the tail end of what you were experiencing growing up, and then the beginning stages of what these two get to experience in growing up. Um, so I'm gonna let y'all go back and forth and explain just from what you've heard of how we grew up and whatnot, the differences that you guys see, obviously outside of social media and almost everything being available online now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
feel
easy
yeah.
answer. Oh, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd say like obviously the biggest one is everything is remote now. Like you can do like almost everything from the comfort of your seat, and like sometimes I know like older people may think that like whenever you're not face to face, it doesn't feel as genuine, and like I can agree with that actually. Like even as I've grown older and I've started to have more friends, like I've started to try to distance myself away from all the technology, start going out more, because I feel like that's a loss. Like people don't value that enough, just being able to go out and see the people that they love. So
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest thing is like electronics, just people not being able to be around each other as much.
Yeah, I think the easy answer as like what the difference is social media. And I think like looking to the negative perspective of that, like knowing where what everyone's doing all the time and what like people are doing across the world, it leads to a lot of comparison. And I feel like that makes like focusing on the this generation's mental health more important. Not that it isn't as important as it was back then, but I feel like that's something that needs to like be focused on more in this generation and that we can build on.
And
And let me
I'm
jump
glad
in.
that you touched on mental health because that's a huge thing. Because I see a lot of people online that are being more open and vulnerable about their mental health.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, on the flip side of that, is you're seeing a lot of people online announce the downsides to their mental health or losing their battles that nobody knew that they were fighting and things like that. Like I know a couple months ago, I think it was like it was a random week. I saw three different posts get shared by people on Facebook from three other people who were just like, I can't do this no more. I love y'all. I'm gone. And literally in the comments, it's the news story of those people committing suicide.
Wow.
And these things were happening before, but we didn't have social media that was showing it to us. The news outlets weren't spotlighting it for clicks and views and stuff like that. And I feel like people are playing around with other people's mental health a lot more these days than they used to. Um, I'm in a few different groups on social media where it's like predominantly, if not all, black people, and they share jokes and stuff like that. It was like, oh, when I was a kid, I couldn't talk about being depressed because my mom would be like, you get in that kitchen and depress those dishes and stuff like that. And it's like, it's funny looking back on it now because we're grown and we're able to express ourselves better. But if you were legitimately depressed and that was the response you were getting from a parent, the one person or two people that you feel like you're supposed to be able to open up to, and that's their response to it, you don't
That's
know
right.
what spiral that can send you down. Like even
That's
when I
right.
was in high school, there were a few suicides from students, and I feel like it's as a whole has snowballed since then. From when I was in high school, it was maybe one or two within the 4 years I was there, to where it being once a week that we're hearing about this happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to touch on that. I'm glad that
Yeah.
James talked about like social media impacting mental health and stuff. Like you see a lot of people online telling you that you have to look like this, you have to act like that. And whenever people feel out of the norm, they sort of like isolate themselves. And I feel like I'm glad that I have a family here who is, been like super supportive through everything. They've always been here to talk to me. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that, and then they try to go to social media to try to talk to other people about it, and then they're met with like negative responses. So I feel like although social media has a lot of upside, that like mental health, it just like I feel like more people need to like it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, and people need to take it more seriously because I know a lot of people who have struggled with that, and
Yeah.
like yeah,
I think
it's a
on
really
that
good
note,
point.
something I've practiced more personally and I'd like to like bring up is just being more honest with your emotions as like a person. I feel like we live in an era where especially men are supposed to be like tough and strong, and like even younger young men are supposed to be like nonchalant or whatever. But I feel like you feel much more free when you're like not suppressing your emotions, even if it's like just happiness. A lot of people tend to suppress their happiness because they don't want to seem like weird or anything, but I feel like it's a good thing to start doing.
Yeah.
See, and that's sad. Like to suppress, I get to a certain extent suppressing like your sadness. Like growing up, people always said men don't cry. There's no crying in sports. There's no like don't show those emotions because it shows a sign of weakness. I feel like any man that's strong enough to be open and vulnerable with their emotions is stronger.
Yeah.
because holding in all that pent up anger and depression and all those different things usually turn into rage, and that's not a good thing, because as black men, if we rage, we immediately fit into every negative stereotype that they put out there about us, and that's the last thing that we need to be doing, is anything that's going to make us fit the stereotype. Because if you look anywhere online, there's people online waiting for the opportunity to be like, see, I told you. They going crazy. Look at them. They're chimping out. Whatever the terminology is that they want to use. Like, the racists come out in full form the second they see you meeting some kind of stereotype that they've been taught about who black men or black people in general are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You define who you are, not the culture. So I think, and I'm glad that we're real raw and open with our emotions. And I'm not afraid to cry in public. Real men cry because life will make you cry, but you don't have to try to hold to a stereotype. David in the Bible was one of the realest men, godly men that I know, and he cried out to God on several occasions. So it's
Yep.
okay.
I think some of the most freeing times of my life, as sad as it is, have been just like letting out a good cry.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, it typically has happened at a funeral. Like, it happened at Michael's funeral, it happened again at Nana's funeral. And
yeah,
it's like you try to hold it in because you know people are looking, but then like you hug that one person and it's just like it all breaks loose. And then
yeah.
when you're done crying, you feel better about it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It helps.
I forgot exactly the words he used, but Victor Wembanyama, who was just in the finals, he had a quote. It was like something like, "I'm too old or I'm too strong to let my emotions hold me back," and that's kind of just what's been in my head as like I'm transitioning into this new like era of not letting my emotions hold me back, just kind of releasing like how you feel in a way.
Yeah. Because I mean, fear is an emotion, and that's usually the thing that holds you back. And one thing that I learned in my career is in sales, and what one of my former directors taught me was, if you fear failure, you're going to fail.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
embrace failure, you're going to learn faster.
yeah,
So fail
yeah.
fast.
That's
If you're
good.
going to fail, get it done quickly so you can learn from it and move on.
That's
And then there's
good.
people that always say, I either win or I learn. There is no loss, because if you learn from that loss, you'll win the next time around.
That's good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's see. We're going to move on to segment two. This is fatherhood and family. So, this one's for you, Pops. What is the hardest part about being a father?
Oh, wow. Knowing, and I wouldn't even say this is hard. It's just I use it as motivation. Knowing that nobody's gonna come and save you is motivational. As a black man in leadership, a pastor, at the end of the day, you have to understand it's you and God. And there are people to help and support and things like that. But there will be some situations in life that you are going to be the only one who has the power to change or control. And at that point, you feel your weakest, but you have to learn. It took me a while. Nobody's coming to save you. So everything you desire, everything you want to be, all the success you want to have, yeah, God puts people in your life, but at the end of the day, you control the narrative. So I think
Yeah,
that was the hardest thing for me to learn. I've learned it now, but nobody's coming to save the black man. The black man must save himself, and the black man must try to save another black man so he can discover who he is. And we'll learn that me and black men, I can speak for myself, we are known for what we provide, and society is not going to really back me on that. But if a man can't provide, he's really not worth anything to the world. So if we don't have something to bring to the table, nobody's going to bring it for us.
absolutely. Absolutely. I would say for me, it's trying so hard to prevent the world from getting to my children,
Yeah,
but finding the balance of allowing some of it to get through so that they can grow from it.
yeah,
I had a lot of friends growing up that were sheltered. And when we got out in the real world in college and everything like that, they had no idea what to do.
wow,
And ironically, some of them would come to me for advice because they'd be like, "Bro, how are you doing this?" Well, I watched my dad go through it.
yeah,
So, and if I can't figure it out, I can go to my dad and get help with it. And it wasn't necessarily that they didn't have their fathers in their lives, although a lot of them didn't. It was just the fact that their parents, grandparents, moms, whoever it was that was raising them was trying to shelter them from so much that they kind of stunted their growth as far
Hmm.
as human beings and adults. And they unfortunately had to learn some things the hard way. Some did some time, some just no, it went a bad direction for some of them. So for me, it's finding that delicate balance between letting life happen for my kids and not just to them, but protecting them to where they don't have to go through the things that necessarily I went through the same way you protected me from having to go through or do the things that you had to do growing up. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's also a big issue in our culture as a whole. I see it all the time. People are like, my kids need to struggle like I did. That's
No,
wrong.
that don't even
That's
make
why the
sense.
cycle continues. You feel
Yeah.
like your kids won't appreciate everything that you give them because they didn't struggle to get it like you did. That's why so many people get stuck in that hamster wheel of like just generational debt, generational BS and stuff like that because if I had to do all the things that my dad had to do, I wouldn't be here to have this conversation, all four of us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure that he doesn't have to do the things that I had to go through. And I know for a fact that JR is not gonna have to do the things that we went through, and even the things that I went through, he doesn't have to go through because we were taught better than that,
Yeah.
and we know that forcing everybody to go through the same things is going to yield the same, if not worse, results, and things will never get better for any of us.
And that doesn't really make sense for somebody to say you have to go through what I went through. This is a different generation. These are different set of rules. The air is even different now from when we were growing up. So you can't expect them to handle now what we went through. That even doesn't even make any sense. They have to be able to tell
Mm-mm.
their own story. Therefore, they have to go through their own trials. Our job is to aid them and to make sure they don't make as many mistakes as we did. But how would they learn if they didn't go through it their own way?
Exactly, exactly. All right, so this next question is for JR and Jordan. We'll start with
Yes.
JR. What's
We talking too much.
yeah, clearly. What's what's something dad has taught you that you'll never forget?
He said you start, JR.
He's
No,
thinking. Give him a second.
Oh shit, my fault.
I'm trying to pull a good one.
There's a lot of them. I'm sure.
There are a lot of them. Jordan, you want to start? I
I'll
don't want
go
to miss
ahead.
keep missing it.
Um, I'd say my dad has taught me a lot, but especially recently, something that stood out to me is that above all, like better, like be a better man than you were yesterday. Like always continue to work on yourself. Whether it's athletically, emotionally, um, academically. He's always pushed me to be like, you know, smarter. Like I can never come home and chill before I do my homework because if he knows I have homework, I gotta get straight to it. Um, he makes sure that I'm always at practice, you know, and like I thank him for that because you don't become better at what you're doing without pushing yourself because if you just stay where you are and everybody else is growing beside you, you're gonna end up falling behind. So always making sure that like you are keeping yourself forward, pushing yourself forward. And he's helped me with that sometimes whenever I feel like I can't do that for myself. He's been there to bring me back up and then put me back on the right path.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Uh, I feel like what I'm about to say isn't something he knows he directly taught me, but it's like the art of perseverance. And it's just one day, I think we were running and it started to rain, and I got worried. I was like, we can't finish. We have to stop because it's going to rain. And he was like, if you just keep running, the rain's going to stop like eventually.
That's good.
It sounds funny, but ever since that day, it's just anytime I'm going through something rough or like a rough patch in life, the rain has to stop. It's the cycle of it's the weather cycle, it's the cycle of life. It's just no matter what you're doing, as long as you keep running, as long as you don't stop, as long as you don't give up, that's when that's when you'll see like the sun above the clouds or the rain will stop.
That's pretty good. I didn't think you were paying attention to that one.
I would say for me,
Yeah.
one thing that I learned, and it sounds weird, but it'll make sense when I say it. Whenever I was going out to clubs and stuff like that, we would always head to Dallas. And a lot of my friends, again, were sheltered, didn't really know much of where we were going. And because my dad used to drive trucks, I used to, like during the summer when there was no school, I would go with him and I was learning my way around the Metroplex and stuff like that. And one thing that he taught me that I have passed on to a lot of my friends is if you ever get lost, head west. Because then you're gonna get back to Fort Worth, you're gonna get back to what you know, head west. And there's a saying, and it's not just a saying, but it's a real thing. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west.
There you go.
And if you're always heading west, you're always being guided by that light because the sun is heading that way too. So if I just keep heading west in whatever it is that I'm doing in life, whether it's coming home from work or just trying to find my way through a situation or whatever, if I just find where west is and head that direction, I'm always be guided by some form of a light that's going to get me to where my destination is and what I need to be in.
That's good.
So
That's
that's
good.
that's one thing that has always stuck with me is no matter what, head west.
Yeah. Head west.
What about you? What's one thing that Grandpa JD taught you that
He
just
taught
stuck
me,
with you?
man, always, and this has helped me more than anything. And this probably y'all gonna laugh at it. Always look a man in the eye when you talk to him. I have closed so many meetings. I've closed so many deals in meetings. I have learned a lot about people's character, and I have spotted people who were trying to harm me just by watching their eyes when I talk to them. And he used to drill that into me. Don't ever look down when you're talking to a man, even if he's bigger than you, even if he's stronger than you. You look at him and you can discover your will and another man's intentions by how you stand up and look at him. It exudes confidence and it exudes what is it, alpha maleism, if you want to say it that way. The king of the jungle, the lion, he will stare you down first before he attacks to let you know this is danger. But that's
Yeah.
helped me in life a lot, and I use it even today.
And they also tell you never stare a lion in the eyes.
There you go. There you go. Because you feel like a threat.
Yep. They see that
Mm-hmm.
as a threat. There's a video that I've seen hundreds of times of a zookeeper in the cage with the lions, and I guess he's new, and he made eye contact with the male lion, and he kept looking at the lion, and the lion kept looking at him, and the lion eventually pounced on him.
Yep.
And it took two or three other zookeepers and the female lion to pull the male lion off of him.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah, always look another man in the eyes and always stand up when you shake their hands.
Yes. And a
Because
firm,
I've
a good
noticed
firm
there'll be,
shake.
yeah, a firm handshake. Like
Yeah.
lock those thumbs when you go to
Not
shake the
not not
hand.
a wet fish. Not a wet fish.
People be real quick to put the hand
Yeah,
out like that. Like
no.
first off, you put your hand out like this to
No.
me. That's like a sign like you telling me to kiss the hand. You are
No,
not
sir. Kiss
royalty.
the
I'm
ring.
not
No,
bowing down
sir.
to you. I'm not kissing the ring. Like miss me with that. So
Yeah.
that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to segment 3. This segment is called Legacy, and this question is for everybody. It's what do you want the Diggs name to stand for? Go ahead.
Character and integrity. If you want to be somebody, you can be it if you understand who you are. That's what we stand on: integrity, character, and knowing who you are. And I think when you hear the name Diggs, if people really know us, they know that more than anything. We are very confident in our character. We're confident in knowing who we are. And we're very free in giving you that information because I want everybody to achieve success, first of all, in being successful in knowing who you are. That's very important.
Yeah. For me, I would say the legacy I want the Diggs name to carry is transparency.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to ever hear the name Diggs and be like, "Oh, well, what version of him or her do you know?" Because
Yeah.
this is the Diggs that I know.
Yeah.
What Diggs did you meet? Well, okay. The only difference in the Diggs that person A meets and person B meets is the energy that they bring to the meeting.
Yeah.
because we're gonna reciprocate it. If
Yeah.
you being an a hole, I'm gonna be an a hole. If you being respectful, I'm gonna be respectful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that for me, it's always going to be transparency because I use that in my work, I use that in my music, and just in genuine interactions between people. I'm always going to be transparent. You're going to get me at face value, and I mean, if you catch me on a bad day, I apologize, but you still getting a genuine version of me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, the word I want the Diggs family name to carry, I think, is freedom, but more so freedom of the mind, freedom of other people's judgment, of negativity. I feel like we shouldn't let the opinions of others bind us. I feel like that's something we're good at now. I feel it's something that does tend to come back
That's good.
sometimes, but I
That's good.
think freedom is what I want the family to carry.
That's good.
I'd say for the Diggs family, like I would just say the word work. It's a simple word, but it goes deeper than, you know, like I've seen my dad work super hard no matter what he's doing. I've seen grandpa work super hard. Even JR, like I've seen him recently. Like he's way stronger, way faster. And just like continuing to work like just like even myself, like this is the best I've felt in forever. Just like always working like on my body, on my mind, like just growing as a person. That's something you have to work on. So I think work is just like a big, big word for our family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've
As they
always been
say,
known
a
for hard
man's
working
work is
men.
never done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so the last part of the legacy. If this was the last piece of advice you could give the next generation, what would it be?
Wow. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. And I know that's a broad statement, but anything you desire and if you focus on it, you can be it. And you're hearing that from somebody who everybody doubted. Never let
Yeah.
anybody talk you out of who God wants you to be.
That kind of leads into what my advice would be is never let somebody else tell you who you are.
Yeah.
We live in a society where everyone is trying to dictate who everybody is supposed to be based on societal norms. If everybody met that, what makes you special from the next person?
Yeah.
If I'm dressing and talking and walking and doing everything that person B, C, and D is doing, what makes me me? So never let somebody dictate who you are. Don't let somebody who has never done what you're trying to do tell you how to achieve it.
Yeah. Key. Very important.
I think my advice goes along with that, but my words are be honest with yourself. I think we live in a society where often people will lie to themselves. People go accustomed to their lifestyle of like constantly, I'll say, gaslighting themselves into believing something that's not true or something about themselves that's not true, because it's easy to grow comfortable with those lies. But
Yeah.
being honest with yourself and knowing like your true thoughts is very important, especially in this day and age.
That's good. Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go a different way with it. Just a little off track. This goes for all generations, like even younger or older than me. It would just be to keep an open mind because times change so fast. And like if you stay with a fixed mindset, like you're gonna fall behind. And I feel like older people tend to um think of everything in their way. And luckily with these two, my dad, my grandpa, they keep an open mind. They see like through this perspective of our eyes, but like always like look at it from a different view, from a different standpoint because people grow up in different ways. Like the younger they are, they grew up in a different environment. So I would just say like keeping an open mind.
That's good. That's real.
I like
That's
that. I
real.
like that. And I hate that the turn of phrase for this is playing devil's advocate when you just, look at things from a different perspective on purpose. But I do that a lot. when I first got into sales, it's because I've worked in wireless sales for forever. If a customer came in and they were like, "Oh, I want an iPhone," I'm asking why. What makes your iPhone better than this Samsung that I have over here? And then on the flip side, I can grab the next customer and they can be like, "Yeah, I want to get a Samsung." Okay, why? What makes it better than this iPhone over here? Just to get people to open their mind to both sides of things,
That's
because
good.
everything in life or everybody around you seems to be trying to make things divided, and they're trying to separate things. We got two political parties and then some actually. You got good versus evil, Crips versus Bloods, whatever the case may be. It's always something versus something else. But the people who rise above, and to Jordan's point, have an open mind and are willing to see things from multiple perspectives are typically the ones that become more successful with life and going down the road. So I
Right.
like that.
Right. Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to come to our last section. This is rapid fire fun. So some of these I kind of know will be super easy just because I know y'all so well. But we're going to start. We're going to go in order of age. And I'm not going to be part of it because I'm the one with the questions. But the first segment is this or that. All right. So, Dad, church shoes or sneakers?
Sneakers.
JR?
Sneakers. What?
Jordan?
Sneakers. Come on
Yeah,
now.
we can see the sneaker wall behind you. All right. Home cooked meal or restaurant?
Home cook.
JR?
Ooh. Uh, home cooked.
Jordan?
This a tough one. I think
Yeah,
I go with
it
home
really
cook.
is.
I go with home cook because it just feels better coming from the family.
Yeah.
For me, it would depend on what the home cooked meal is versus the
That's a
restaurant.
good one.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
good
I
one.
was
That's
gonna
I
say
can't,
that.
that's
I
definitely
can't,
true.
I can't cook hibachi like the hibachi places do,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I know I make a mean grilled chicken that restaurants don't duplicate.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that grilled chicken is nice. I'm not gonna lie.
But when it's a home cooked meal, you're never gonna cook anything you're not familiar with anyway.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I experiment.
Yeah.
I've tried different cuts of steak and different cooking platforms, from cast iron to a grill to a Blackstone. I think the Blackstone yielded the best results in the steak because I've watched them do it so much at Benihana, but still, it doesn't taste the way that the professionals do it, so I just don't do it.
Yeah.
All right, this or that. Save money or spend money.
Save money.
I like how both of them made the same face.
I mean, I'll say save. I don't have much to spend it on, but when I do get something, I do like to spend it. So when I do get that, I think I'm gonna spend it on. I'm gonna spend it as soon as I can.
Obviously when you first get the money, you think save, or some people may think spend. For me, I say save, but then like you see something you want and you got the money for it, you're gonna try to go get it. So it's a in the moment thing. I feel like.
For me, I would definitely prefer to save the money, but bills and kids and bills and bills. And then the stuff that I like there was a time in my life where I couldn't afford a fourth of the things that I can afford now. So I mean, I'm still every now and then the little kid side of me will be like, "Man, I would have loved that as a kid. Oh, wait, I can afford it. Let me go ahead and get that."
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, but saving is the smart route to go, and I do love the fact that my kids are good at saving money, and they're really good at talking us into buying them the stuff that they probably should be buying on their own. Because I've had the needs versus wants conversation with my son multiple times, and somehow he
Yeah.
still ends up finding a way to get us to buy the wants and the needs. And I can see your Cash App balance, so don't be telling me, "Oh, I don't have no money."
Yeah.
All right, next one: text or phone call.
Text.
Thanks.
Hold on.
Hey,
Text is
well,
text is a it's not very important message. If you're calling me, it's got to be pretty important. So I would rather you call me if it's important. Text me if it's not very important.
yeah, I'd say text is a lot like easier. Text.
I have literally built my music career off a song called Voicemail, and I
Yeah.
literally talk about I'm not answering the phone. Um, it works out best if you text me because I have a lot going on. whether just in my head or things that I'm doing. And if you want me to remember something, it better be in writing. Because if you
Yep.
tell me, I probably forgot it before you finish telling me. That's why I'm so good at like keeping other people's secrets because I don't even remember that they tell me until they bring it up again. I'll be like, oh yeah, you did tell me that.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely text me. But if you, to your point, if you call me, I assume it's an emergency.
Yeah.
So, and then if you call me too many times and it's not an emergency, I eventually stop picking up. So don't be
Exactly.
crying wolf.
Exactly.
Old school music or new school music?
Old school, because I'm an old school brother. And most of the new school music has been sampled by old school artists anyway.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fierce. Uh,
Fair.
Definitely like new school, but I'm definitely into a lot more old school music as of recent. A lot more Michael Jackson. People might say I'm just hopping on the bandwagon because of the movie, but definitely a lot more Michael Jackson. I got into Stevie Wonder a couple months ago. Mm, yeah, but definitely I enjoy both sides. I feel
Yeah, for me, you know, I find a lot of enjoyment going back and like
you
looking
can
at
say
like
new school
listening to
though.
music. Wait, let me get there. Let me get there. I like listening to the old music because it's cool to see like what like the older generation used to listen to. But I'm definitely a new music. Like I'm always like trying to hear what's new, the new wave. Like that's always been my thing.
Trying to convince me to listen to all the music that you're listening to?
That's
Underground
where the
artists,
open
bro.
mind thing came from. You got
And the
like
underground artists.
I
it's a
have
different wavelength, bro.
I have had to be a little bit more open minded about the music because I don't know what it is about this Nine Vicious kid that he's always trying to get me to listen to, but it's a couple of songs that I listen to, but I finally got him to admit it that you don't listen to his music for what he's saying because he's not saying anything.
Yeah,
It's the
y'all.
production and the instrumental. But you got to keep in mind, I grew up at a time where the music was a lot of storytelling. The
Yeah.
R&B, the old school 80s music, and even the hip hop and rap back then was telling stories. Biggie and Pac were telling stories. Bone Thugs were telling stories, whether you could understand it or not. Like that's what I grew up on, and even in my own music, I get like I posted a video today, and somebody commented, and it was a GIF of E40. I grew up listening to E40, so it's not an insult when you tell me that some of my music reminds you of him.
Yeah.
That's part of my foundation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I got playlists on my phone that's nothing but 80s music. And sometimes I forget those songs existed and you hear it and it's like being at the family cookout.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like. There's a lot of different values in music now, and I think like sometimes I'll even go back. I'll listen to older music, and then I'll hear them telling a story, and they're really talking, and I'm like, that's good. Like that's good music. So I can appreciate both, but now it's more about the sound and the vibe more than the message.
You like
Even now
festival music.
listening, yeah.
It's a
I think now
situational thing.
listen. Oh, yeah. I think now
Yeah,
listening to newer music, I do find myself like wanting more lyricism from artists. I feel like
yeah, for
we're
sure.
we're losing that. It's more about production and not really lyricism. The songs still hit, but I feel like it could be so much better if there was an actual story to tell.
Yeah, that's why I said it was like kind of situational because you put it into your mind that like you're there like at a concert or something. You don't care what they're saying. You
Right.
just want to hear something. But like sometimes you just want to sit and listen, and like some good lyricism will get you through that.
All right. So I got two more questions. It was one, but one just popped into my head. And I want to get a perspective from both the older generation and the younger generation. Why do you believe or feel like black families don't do family reunions anymore?
Because they always end up fighting and arguing about something that they haven't resolved during the year. And since they haven't connected during the year, they figured this is the only time we're going to be together. We might as well bring it up. And that's totally out of order. And I just don't think a lot of, not all of them, but a lot of black families respect culture and generationalism, generations being together at one time and disrespecting the younger generations by airing out dirty laundry. I just don't think that's a good look for black people.
What about y'all?
From what I've seen, like I feel like some black families don't like stay connected within the family anymore, and
Yep.
then they just like lose the connectiveness of the family aspect. Luckily, that hasn't happened for us. We're still pretty close knitted, but I've definitely seen that around.
I think there's 3 points. I think people want to be independent. They don't think they need their family. People are afraid of confrontation, and people might be afraid of responsibility.
Yep.
I can see
Yep.
that. One of the biggest comments I saw when this was posed in the black group was, "We're losing recipes,"
Huh.
and it's not just in the food. It's just we're losing the recipe for a close family, a close knit
Right.
family.
Right.
Those things are going away. We're losing the recipes of healing and coming together and things like that. And the only the only time your family gets together should not be at a funeral.
Right. Right.
And even then, there's times where they're not getting together for that.
Yep.
All I know is if y'all fighting at my funeral, I'm getting out that casket and I'm whooping everybody.
All right.
I'm getting out that casket
Zombie.
and I'm
Zombie
whooping
like.
everybody. All right, so our closing question, and we're gonna start from Grandpa. We're gonna go to y'all too, and then I'll close us out. 20 years from now, what do you hope people say about the Diggs family?
They were necessary. What they brought to the table, what they brought to the game, what they brought to the program was necessary. We didn't know how much they needed it. We needed it, and we didn't know how much we needed them. So we were necessary.
All right, Jr.
I want them to say that we were like a bright light in people's lives. I feel like I want them to say we have good influence on people. We're helpful and keep a clear mind, and we just make people's days better, or even like moments in life better.
Yeah. I was gonna say something like that. Add on to him. Um, just that like whenever they hear our name, like they think positively of us. Like, oh, he was a good guy. You know, he was genuine. He was passionate. He was like a hard worker. Like, I just want to leave behind a legacy that like we did what we were supposed to. We helped others. We were just like great people, great open hearted, transparent people.
That's good.
For me, I would say I hope that our name enters the room long before we do, or if we never do, in a positive light. I want people to hear the name Diggs and it bring a smile to their face. And it makes them feel relieved and relaxed and open and just understanding that when you're around a Diggs or the Diggs is, you can be unapologetically yourself. And a lot of my friends have said that. They're just like, man, when I get around your dad, when I get around your family, like it's like I've been there forever. Whether it's their first time coming around or if they're like Ali, who's always around, like that's just the situation. Everybody that always has told me, man, your family is so nice and welcoming. So
Good.
that's what I want to that's what I want to leave everybody with.
Yeah.
So thank you, fellas, for your time. I know the time and the date jumped back and forth a lot, but even the technical difficulties, the devil didn't want it to happen, but we made sure it happened. We figured it out. People literally had been asking me since last year when we did this if we were going to do it again. Here it is. So y'all better watch it. Y'all better make sure y'all tune in. We'll see y'all again next year. Hopefully it don't take a year for us to see all of y'all again. Come see us every Sunday at New Fellowship Church of Fort Worth, 5420 Flamingo Road. Shameless plug right there. Take them to churches out on all platforms. Shameless
Yeah.
plug. Make sure y'all support the Texas Boys Choir. Make
Yeah.
sure y'all, when you get a chance, go check out SB Elite Basketball Green 2030
Yeah.
Boys, LD Bell High School, Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts, Temple 12.
Temple
What else we
12.
got?
Yes, sir.
Uh, I switch all your services over to AT&T, whatever. Shameless plug and everything. But thank you, Elder Sheila Black, for allowing us to use the platform to
Thank you,
share who our
Sheila.
family is and everything of that nature. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Deuce.